with you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy Files, Fantasy Off the Record.
Different from any of us.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Time after time.
What's good, man?
What up? Hold on. Let me get this right.
You got go ahead and give it some more. Yeah, go ahead and give it another one. Yeah.
One more.
Yeah, one more. Hey, look, your team does not win every day. You know what I mean? So you got to celebrate when your team wins. So, everybody
Absolutely.
knows it's been since 1995. No shade there, but talk your
absolutely.
shit. Talk it.
Hey, man. So look, I man, like you said, you're right. It's been since 1995. I was 14 years old the last time the Braves won the championship. Last time I was able to win the championship. And I'm in a totally different point in my life, but it don't feel no different. It feels great. So last night, if you was under a rock or something, the Braves won the World Series in 6, which I called, by the way. I did say Braves in 6. And they won in dominating fashion, man.
It was
and Max Free, who I was a little nervous about. I won't lie. I was a little nervous about him taking the mound because his last 2 outings, he just got rocked.
But he was dominant all season. And
He was playing ball.
He was due for a good game. You're right. His last 2 outings, it was like, man, he's not even the same guy, but he showed up when it counted.
Absolutely. So it's just it was good to see, man. It was good to see the break. The fans that were in Houston were crazy. They were taking over, and the Houston fans was getting mad. It was 7-0 in the bottom of the 8th, and the Atlanta fans are going crazy, and the Houston fans just can't take it anymore, and they tried to do whatever it was that they could do to salvage the game, but the Braves, they were too much, man. They were too much.
So one thing that I will say about the Braves, baseball. It feels like if you get hot at the right time, you can win it all. I know you can say that for every sport, but you look at the Braves mid-season, nobody would have guessed that they were going to be in the World Series. Even as early as the trade deadline, when everybody was going off and it was like a free agents, everybody was going all in. It was an arms race. And the Braves, they made the smart moves, but at the time it was just kind of like, that's not going to be enough. But they ended up playing in November, so it's kind of like, when you say playing in October, but they were still playing, and that team got hot and went on a run.
So you know what, and I don't remember if it was last week or the week before last, and I said that they remind me of the Nationals.
That's exactly what they remind me of.
Yeah, they remind me of the Nationals. Was struggling early in the season, even up to the All-Star break, and just got hot at the right moment, went on a run, and was so hot in the playoffs that it was nothing that you could do. Look at the teams that they beat. You got the Dodgers, who I believe they won 106 games, and the Astros, who've been in 3 of the last 5 World Series. So, man, it's crazy. Like to beat those teams, you gotta be calling all the right, all you gotta be pushing all the right buttons
Right.
and doing everything right, and they did. And
Not not to mention the Dodgers beat the Giants, who had the best record. And I mean, they were the defending champions last year. And I mean, on
yeah,
paper, I mean, they've got probably one of I'm not going to go that far, but it's a really good assembled team on paper. And that Astros team, I mean, that team was good too. And they played this year. They had a point to prove. The only
right,
thing that I was a little sad about, and not really, I didn't care too much, was I wanted to see Dusty Baker get a
right,
ring. Dusty
right.
Baker definitely put in his years, and what he was able to do to get that Astros team to refocus and to get
Hmm.
back to playing really good baseball. I mean, he did a tremendous job as their
Absolutely.
manager this year. So just to see how all that was coming to fruition, I was rooting for him. But the Braves manager, man, I mean he's deserving too. I mean what was it has been in that franchise 40 years?
Yeah, he's been there. I want to say yeah. I know he's been there longer than I've been born.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Snicker,
yeah,
Snicker. Yeah, he's been there. He's been there a long time, man. And so he's been through all the heartbreak, all the highs, the lows, all everything in between. You know. So I did you watch the game last night?
yeah. I felt like the Houston Astros during the game because I was getting my butt kicked in the battlegrounds, but I definitely had it on in the back, um, and I was watching it. And every time like you get up and you cheer, and I just look up at the TV. It's like, oh, okay, it's another home run. I
Yeah, yeah. Jorge Solero, whatever you call it, 5 years ago, won won the championship with the Cubs on the same day, November 2nd, 2016. He won the World Series with the Cubs. But yesterday he hit a shot, knocked it out of like not just out of the stadium. It went out of the stadium, and I since he hit that home, I was like, yo, did that did that did that home run hit somebody? What if it plunks? If you was in a parking lot and that joint just plunked you upside the head, like yeah, man, that was crazy. It was a sight to see, man. Like the Braves, and they didn't even have Acuna, and that was the other thing. When Acuna got hurt, a lot of people were saying the season was over.
I was one of
Um, huh?
I said I was one of them.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I didn't really know what to. I just like, all right, we'll just see what happens, and I mean, it worked out now, and this is a discussion that I think we have to have. Let's have it right now, because I was thinking, um, Acuna's coming back. You still got all these guys. You still got all these guys. Absolutely, I do have my scooter, but Acuna coming back, and you talk about repeat, right? And my question to you is: you got football with the Super Bowl, you got the NBA Finals, you got the Stanley Cup, you got the World Series. Even I'll even throw the World Cup in there because you have that every 4 years. What is the hardest sport that you think to repeat, to go back to back?
Football,
Really? See,
football.
so I disagree there. I I really do think that baseball is the toughest. So why do you think football?
So okay. So here's the thing with baseball, right? So a little success, everybody starts wanting the money, and they may break up. But in baseball, you can always like retool pretty easily. You know what I mean? And you can kind of put together a team a little bit quicker. In football, I feel like the dynamics change from year to year, and people they start to scheme. Well, coaches or organizations start to scheme on you a little bit different, and teams that were bad last year are a couple of draft picks and a couple of acquisitions away from being good the next year. So I feel like the pressure. I think a lot of people look at what the Patriots were able to do, and they think like, oh, okay, well, is that easy? I think it'll be a really long time before we see an organization that has been that dominant. There's going to be that dominant moving forward. So yeah, I think it's football.
So this is why I say baseball, because in baseball, yes, like you said, there's no salary cap, right? But look at a team like the Dodgers. And here's the other thing: you have to everything has to go right to win. You got to win 4 out of 7, just like in basketball and in hockey. But in baseball, I mean, you pretty much have to have everything right. I think trying to buy a World Series championship, those days are gone, right? Because you can spend all the money you want, a lot of Dodgers, and you could get bounced out in the NLCS. You know, it's just tough. Now, I understand football; you don't have a salary cap and all of those things, but in baseball, everything has to go right. Everything, because you can have a team like. So here's the thing: in football, you're not going to have a team under 500 in mid-season. Most of the time, if you have a team under 500, they're not winning the championship. You may have your outliers like the Giants, and I don't even think that they were under 500 midway through the season.
But like 97.
They were like 9-7 to finish the season. But if you look at teams like the Patriots, right? And I know they were the last back-to-back champion. I want to say was that 02 and 03, I believe. Baseball's been even longer. Yeah, it was the Yankees, and I want to say they won 3 in a row, but that was 22 years ago. so it's just I mean, in any sport, it's tough to go. It's tough to win one championship in any sport, right? But to like build a dynasty in football, we've had a dynasty a lot more recently in football than we have in baseball. I think the last dynasty we might have had in baseball were the late 90 Yankees, 98, 99, 2000. So I think that I don't want to say that winning back to back automatically makes you a dynasty, but it's difficult, man. And again, we've seen more recently a dynasty in football. I mean, those Patriots were, they went to how many? 9 championships and won 6. And they were the last ones to go back to back. So
right. So speaking of football, what's going on with football? It feels like every day somebody else is getting injured or somebody else has COVID. What are your thoughts and how has that impacted the season thus far?
Well, first shout out to the Cowboys. 6-1. The backup quarterback, but it's not about the Cowboys. It's not about the Cowboys. It's more about what's going on and what we're seeing. So now what's his name? Aaron Rodgers now has COVID. So Aaron Rodgers, his first time getting ready to play what's that guy's name? Patrick Mahomes. He gets COVID and now he's out. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but yeah. So COVID is real. I think that right now we're midway through the season, and things are kind of starting to shape up a little bit. So you have your team, you have your teams that are like setting the stage to go on a run to get ready for the playoffs. Then you have your teams that's trying to get themselves together, like the Chiefs, who just don't look right. They don't look like themselves right now. But you're still nervous about that team because they have Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill. And then you have your teams that you just don't know about, like the Bengals, like the Steelers, the Browns, the Raiders, and a few other teams. You don't really know what you're gonna get at, and those could be one of the teams that go on a run, right? I do think that a team that, huh?
Throw the Ravens in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Tennessee.
any of those teams could really go on a run, and you're like, whoa, But right now we're in the midpoint, and teams are starting to like take shape. One of the things that unfortunately for the Raiders, we saw what happened with Henry Ruggs, and I do think that we definitely have to talk about it. Henry Ruggs was unfortunately was allegedly under the influence, and was speeding in his Corvette. Was it a Corvette or Camaro? Corvette.
It was
Corvette, and he was going at speeds of 156 miles per hour. Hit a Toyota RAV4, and the RAV4 went into flames, and it killed the lady and her dog in the car. The Raiders have since released him, and this is going to be interesting on what happens. He's going to, he's getting charged. He's locked up now. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Just how your life can change in the course of minutes over one bad decision. I mean, to go 156 miles per hour and to be intoxicated, I'm not going to act like I'm no saint. I've never driven drunk or anything like that, but it was just a poor decision. And unfortunately, his poor decision, man, it killed somebody. And he's going to be accountable for that. I think that it's an unfortunate situation because he's so young. And I mean, they say he's got up to 26 years, which I don't think he'll get 26 years, but
right.
They are going to make some sort of example of him. Like he's not just going to be able to get off and get a lawyer. Like he's gonna serve some hard time for that. So I just think it's unfortunate, man, when you just put it all together because we've all been young, made poor decisions, and just lucky for most of us, it hasn't resulted in somebody else's life as a
right.
Yeah, just a sad all around story. I say too, pray for him.
Absolutely.
I couldn't imagine the guilt and what's going through his head right now. I mean, his life is literally flashing right before his eyes. I mean, it's just like, man.
His best friend died from in a car accident with a drunken driver, which makes this to me even worse because I mean that was a moment in your life where you're not gonna forget that. It's like you have things that happen in your life that make you say, I don't want that to be me. I don't want to be put in that situation. And him knowing that, and I'm not going to say like we're perfect because we're not. And you gotta do better, right? That was a moment in your life where where your best friend died. You should have been in that car. The only reason why he wasn't in the car was because he got sick that day. He ended up getting sick and didn't go to the basketball game with his high school friend, and he ultimately, that unfortunately passed away, and he was ejected from the car and all these other things. And it was like, man, you're going 156 miles per hour and you're intoxicated.
Again, but you know what? After you had said something, no, I mean, you had said some. He's lucky to be alive, and that's just how God. I mean, not to get biblical or anything like that. It's just funny how God works with that sort of thing, to where he's going 156 miles per hour, slams into the other car, and he walks away from it. And even his passenger, I think she walked away from it. And it's just crazy that he's just lucky he didn't die right with that person.
Right. Because we would have been having a whole different conversation today,
Right.
So man, so again, like you said, pray for that man. He's a kid. 22 years old. He's a kid. And we know the crazy dumb stuff we did at 22. So before people go on judging them, pray for him. I'll say one thing that I will. I don't want to say I won't give him props for it, but he took accountability and he stayed at the scene. He didn't try and cover it up, and he didn't try and leave and try and figure something else out. He stayed at the scene and tried to get help. I think that you hear stories all the time about people leaving the scene of an accident, which ultimately makes things worse. So he made the right decision at that time of staying at the scene. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So with the season, let's get back to some more upbeat type of things. We have a friend named Charles. Y'all seen Charles on here. Y'all seen Charles on here a few weeks ago. He had to crack the egg over his head. He's a Panthers fan, but we're all in the same fantasy league, and Charles is our guy. But I think we have to talk about this. He's in first place. He's cruising. He just lost this weekend, but what is he? 6-2? He's 6-2, and he's just cruising. And in our little group chat, he's just going off on our guy Phil. Shout out to Phil. Happy birthday, Phil. He got a birthday coming up. But he's going off on Phil. And mind you, Derrick Henry just got hurt. Derrick Henry's out for the season. Unfortunately, we just talked about Henry Ruggs, but he had Henry Ruggs on his squad. So as he's talking trash, I'm watching TV and I see it come across the screen. Aaron Rodgers has COVID. And guess who his quarterback is? Aaron freaking Rodgers. So talk about bad luck and the fantasy gods humbling someone. You want to see a humbling moment? Have his roster, because boy, oh boy, it's gonna be rough for him, man. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on what happened earlier with Aaron Rodgers, his fantasy team, and just the fantasy gods, because it looked bad. It looked bad for him, man.
So I tried to give him a little motivation this morning. He said he didn't know what he did to deserve the karma, and I said it was, part of the game. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anybody lose that many players in 1 week for injury. So,
yeah, man.
Charles, if you're listening out there, man, I got players for the low, man. Go ahead, come see your buddy, man. I don't get you. Now I ain't gonna get you straight because I don't even sound right. But Yeah, we can make a deal, man. I get help you retool your roster at the right price. So that's just my message for him. I gotta get to
Wow.
him.
Yeah, y'all hear that,
Yeah,
y'all? Y'all hear that?
I
Y'all hear that? That's the snake.
yeah,
That's the snake slithering in the grass. That slithering snake named Scotty. Wow, for the right price. For the right price. That means he gonna want you. You know what? I ain't got nothing to do with that. But
he's gonna make a deal. But yeah, but okay, so Aaron Rodgers, right? And maybe I'm wrong for
now let's talk about it.
thinking this way.
Let's talk about it.
I feel somewhat deceived by Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that
Let's talk about it.
we made a big to do about Cam Newton. Some have speculated that Lamar Jackson is not vaccinated. We've made a big to do about him and how he endangers his teammates and how I mean, shoot, Cam Newton lost his job because he wasn't vaccinated. I mean, they can say whatever they want to say, but I mean that's the truth of the matter. I mean, so you look at Aaron Rodgers, and it's kind of like, why aren't we holding him to the same standard? You know, we have all these other athletes that have stood up. They've said what they need to say about it. Whether we agree or not, they've stuck to their guns, and some of them have been downright crucified for it. But then you got Aaron Rodgers out there who's in the same boat, who's just basically just like sitting there like, yeah, okay, whatever. And for what I'm reading and what I'm hearing is they haven't been following protocol, and it's about to get ugly for that organization, man. What are your thoughts about Mr. Rogers?
So I feel hoodwinked.
Right.
I feel bamboozled. Led astray. Yo, so here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? You know, yes, he's playing some good football, but that press conference he had in August before the season started, and they didn't really press him. He said he was immunized or whatever he said. And like, wait a minute, all right. So I guess they just ran with it and they just assumed he knew what they was asking him, right? He knew what they was asking him. Did you get one of those? Did you get one of the COVID vaccines? You know, whether it's Moderna, Pfizer, or Johnson & Johnson. And he played stupid. Like he didn't like, oh, I mean, nah, I thought you meant this, or I thought you meant that. And I think that I think that he's not being held accountable, but he will, because you know a funny thing happens. Right? And I'm not saying that like we have like some sort of power, right? But when we talk about some things, a lot of times, the next thing you know, and I'm not saying it's us, but we'll talk about some things. Next thing you know, and they getting pressed. They getting pressed, and I think that's what's about to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some fines coming out of that organization for himself getting fined, the Packers getting fined, and maybe even some other people. Now did yeah, if you don't follow protocol, if you're not following protocol, you're definitely going to get fined. You're going to get suspended. I don't know about the suspension part, but if you're not following protocol, there's you know repercussions. I said repercussions.
No,
but yeah, so yeah, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers. It's almost like he feels like he's the smartest man in the room.
Yeah, and look, along that same lines, I mean, we crucify Kyrie, right? because they got kind of like the same type of personality. And when Kyrie Irving does it, we say he's a problem. We hop on him. And I mean that's everybody in general, like the media. Uh, but Aaron Rodgers, it's like we just continue to give him a pass, a pass, a pass, and we don't hold him accountable or his feet to the fire. And it's not really about him being vaccinated or not, right? Everybody, we talked about it.
It's your choice.
Times. So yeah, it's your choice, but pick a side and go with it. You know what I mean? And let people know what it is that you got going on. You know what I mean? But for him to just kind of just act like he wasn't, and then really put his team at risk. You know what I mean? It's just it's irresponsible at best.
Because again, a lot of the times you getting a vaccine is not, yes, it's for you because you want to be healthy, but it's also for the people around you.
Right.
And the people around you and the people around them, and it's crazy, yo, because imagine if that was Cam. Imagine if he said, "Oh, I got a little something." You just say something crazy like that, and then say if he was vaccinated or not, and then he ends up getting COVID. I mean, he got COVID, but he ends up getting COVID. Do you know the backlash he would have got for that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it wouldn't have been as casual as they're saying, "Oh, Cam Newton has COVID and he's gonna miss this game and possibly the next game." Nah, man, they would have been like, "Oh, he's a terrible teammate. He only thinks about himself. Everything under the sun." So yeah, man. And they would have just act like he did everything wrong. It's unfortunate. So they definitely should. My thing is this: Aaron Rodgers was just what for Halloween? He was just John Wick. He literally said that he grew his hair out. It took him, like, he's been growing his hair out for months. He's been growing his hair out for months just for Halloween. I think you put that much thought into your Halloween costume and what you do for Halloween, but not being upfront and forthright with your status. I think that's just it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, man. So let's get to the winner of the week.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're.
All right. So I just got one person. I'm not even. We have to talk about this person. Scottie Pippen. What is going on with Scottie Pippen?
Oh, so we're just gonna have a discussion. So this winner of the week is a discussion. It's a discussion. It's a discussion piece.
The reason why it's got to be a discussion is when the pandemic first started, there was no sports, right? Sports shut down, and we pretty much every episode we were covering The Last Dance, because it was just that much to talk about. As far it was a good series. Probably, in my opinion, probably the best sports documentary I've seen. I love The Last Dance, but one reoccurring topic was we were just talking about Scottie Pippen. We just didn't get him. It just, he felt like he was being portrayed badly during the documentary. I didn't feel like he was being portrayed badly. I thought that they were.
We about to have a conversation now then, because I thought they boo-booed on Scottie.
They boo-booed on him on certain parts, but it was certain parts that they made him look good. But let's talk about it.
All right, so before we get there, I just want to let everybody know that Scotty B is giving Scotty P winner of the week. I just thought that was pretty. All right, so Scottie Pippen had a lot to say about MJ, and he felt like MJ he ultimately he was just a pawn on The Last Dance. He felt a lot of things, and one of the things was he didn't feel appreciated on The Last Dance. And things of that nature. So I feel like it is a good thing to talk about, because my point of view of Scottie Pippen on The Last Dance was that of a sidekick, was that of somebody that didn't really make the greatest of decisions. That somebody that kind of tapped out. He wasn't that tough, and I don't think that's the case. We all, and I believe it, that we all know that if there is no Scottie Pippen, Jordan doesn't get those 6 rings. I think we can all agree there. But that's not really how it was portrayed in The Last Dance. They literally, and again, don't get me wrong, Jordan's one of my favorite players, but Jordan could do no wrong in The Last Dance. They didn't really talk about his gambling in The Last Dance. You know what I'm saying? They never, Jordan. They talked about it. It was front page news, because I remember it like it was yesterday, because it was during the Knicks series. About him going to Atlantic City and having a ton of gambling debt. But they didn't talk about it at all on The Last Dance, unless maybe I missed something. Did they?
They talked about part of it.
But they didn't go in depth. They went in depth about him, huh?
I said no, they didn't go into depth.
Yeah, but they talked. They went in depth. They went in depth on Scottie's migraines. They went in depth on Scottie not leaving the bench. They went in depth on Scottie not getting the surgery. He getting the surgery in the what you call it, and things like that. You said what?
Cursing out Jerry Krause.
Yeah. So they went in depth on a lot of the crap that was like somewhat wrong. That Scottie Pippen wasn't looked at, and he was looked at more of a villain, not necessarily a villain, but he was looked at as somebody that was
An asshole.
Yeah. And so there's the other thing of which is true about Jerry Reinsdorf telling them not to sign that deal because he doesn't negotiate in the middle of contracts. And so I understand that part about Scottie and him. He was looking at his family was struggling at that moment, and he just had to make a decision. So I get that. That part, I don't agree with Scottie. If you signed that deal, then you signed the deal. I know you was underpaid, but the owner, he told you not to sign it and just wait. You're going to be worth a lot more in a year. So, but again, you can't, you don't know all the details of how much it was costing him for his brother and his dad to survive. You know what I'm saying? So that one is tough right there. But they didn't make him look too great on what you call it.
Yeah, but here's the deal, right? Nobody watched The Last Dance to see Scottie Pippen's story. Okay. Michael Jordan is, I want to say, probably the closest human that people treated like a superhero. Michael Jordan has never done anything wrong in the eyes of most people. Most people worship Michael Jordan.
I get it.
Think about it this way, right? There's 2 types of individuals. One that'll tell you that Michael Jordan was the greatest person to ever pick up a basketball. And then you have a few people that have said, you know what? Maybe LeBron James or maybe Kobe Bryant is in that category. And those people that really love Michael Jordan, will laugh you out of a room. I mean, that's the type of
Mhm.
effect that Michael Jordan has on people. I mean, people are still buying Jordans. Forget his regular shoe that he makes, right? The shoe that he
Mhm.
makes is terrible. People shouldn't even buy that, but people do, because it's
What shoes?
associated with him. His regular shoes, man, the Jumpmans or whatever,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, 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 yeah,
like the $80 pair of Jordans,
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I got you.
you hope that somebody doesn't know the difference and doesn't know that he didn't wear them. But regardless, my point is that if Jordan played basketball in those shoes, people will still break their neck to buy Jordans. I mean, I literally was thinking the other day, right?
Mhm.
I'm not even the only idiot. There's a lot of idiots like myself that have owned the same pair of shoes like 4 different times, like in different colors, like had the same pair of shoes, like
Hey, I mean,
came back.
I'm one of those. I'm one of those
Like,
people
like,
too.
like,
I'm one of those people too. I can't.
yeah, I mean, like literally, Jordan has been taking like most of our money for like 35 years plus. And what do we do? We put our kids in Jordans, like we wear Jordans. I mean, he's that polarizing of a figure. So when people tuned into the Last Dance, yeah, they wanted to see what was going on with Jordan. And
But it was a
if
Bulls
he didn't want
documentary.
to, it was a Jordan documentary. It said Bulls on it, but it was a Jordan documentary. And I get that all the other Bulls teammates are offended, and I get they didn't ask Luke Longley for an interview, and Craig Hodges felt like what he was doing for civil rights was good, and Pippen wanted to be the hero, but it just wasn't the case, man. Nobody cared about what they had going on.
I don't think that's the case though, Scott. That's false and inaccurate. I mean, let's
Well,
be real.
you know what? Pippen is doing the right thing. He's got his opportunity to write a book, thanks to the Last Dance. I mean, he's got his book coming out, and the rest of those guys, man, they can get their own documentary, man. And we'll watch it on 30 for 30. And we'll go from there, man. Or maybe they can get on Prime. You know, maybe possibly Netflix. I mean,
So, do you
shoot,
think he was wrong? Do you think he was wrong in what he said?
I think he should be grateful. He should be grateful.
Oh, come on.
He should be grateful.
Grateful for what? Grateful for what?
Man, Michael Jordan propelled him in the star. It just is what it is. Michael Jordan.
You don't do. Hold on, wait. Because yeah, Jordan was a star, but so and here's the difference. I know. I don't want to compare eras, right? But there wasn't social media back then. There wasn't a free agency when Jordan first got into the league. And so things were a little different. You mean to tell me, with the team that he had before Pippen got there, and he getting bounced out in the first round every single he didn't and again, I am a Jordan fan, but he didn't get out of the first round until Pippen got there. All right. So to just say, oh, Pippen propelled him. Jordan propelled Pippen to stardom. I think that's a little bit unfair. I think Pippen helped Jordan out a lot as well.
Pippen did, right? So we all know, Jordan wouldn't have no rings without Pippen, but Pippen would not have no rings without Jordan. And I think that most people would agree that
that's fair.
It's a possibility that Jordan would have figured it out without Pippen, opposed to Pippen figuring it out without Jordan.
Well, Jordan had 7-8 years to figure it out. He didn't figure it out. Jordan would have left Chicago. If Pippen didn't get there, Jordan would have eventually left Chicago.
He would have left Chicago, and I think he would have figured it out. I think that Scottie Pippen,
Barkley,
he would have figured it out with somebody. He was that great of a player.
All right. I mean,
I don't know.
look, I'm not. So
think
I'm not saying so. So it's a little difficult because you're talking about the way someone feels that like they were portrayed in a documentary, right? And I think that's where it all came. So where I will say that Scotty is wrong, where Scotty is wrong, and that he never sent condolences to Jordan when Jordan lost his dad. And I want to say he put that in his book. He put it in his book. And I think that is just, and Jordan didn't even realize it. But I think that is petty. I think that is inconsiderate and downright just messed up. I was gonna curse, but I ain't gonna curse.
So
I think it's messed up, huh?
So let's talk about this book, right? So you think Pip just said, you know what, screw it. I've been holding all this water for years. This is the last straw. I'm going to air it out.
Yeah, I think because we've heard back in the day when in the last 15 years that Jordan and Pippen weren't like the best of friends. Jordan actually is losing a lot of friends. Like, him and Barkley used to be like best friends. Like, they don't really like each other right now. Jordan and Pippen are done. So I'm sure some other guys too, but I think at this point he's at the point. Pippen is just at the point where screw it. I don't need you to be my friend. I mean, he doesn't. Scottie Pippen is a Hall of Famer. He's a 6-time champion. He's a defensive lock. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest two-way players of all time. He's in the top 50 and I believe he's in the top 75 as well of all time. I mean, he does at this point right now, he don't need Jordan. So what happened in the 90s at this point doesn't really matter, clearly, because they don't really like each other right now. And I mean, and what could you do? They don't like each other. So now what? Now what? What happens now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we read his book, but the one thing I would say to Scottie Pippen, and look, I liked Scottie Pippen. You know, I mean, he growing up. I mean, I was compared to Scottie Pippen. I don't know if I played like him, but the Scottie thing or whatever. But sometimes, but the advice I would give him is sometimes the truth hurts.
Hold on, wait. Wait. You're not just gonna skip over that. We're not gonna just skip over. When in the history of your life have they compared you to Scottie Pippen?
Oh man, check my resume, man. All right, shoot, you better ask somebody. Ask somebody or act like you know.
Oh my god! All right, man.
Ask around.
All right. You know what? Hold on. Scott. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh shit! Oh my god! I focus. Oh my gosh! Scotty B used to be compared to Scotty P. All right. So,
shoot, I used to do it all, bro. Huh? Do it all. I said I used to do it all.
Hey, look, man, I don't want no smoke, man.
Somebody.
Hey, Cardona, if you watching, man, we need some receipts, man.
Hey,
Cardona, we gotta get some receipts, man.
Hey, he'll tell you.
Oh man,
get it, boy.
So. I Scott, I Pip. I mean, Scotty B. All right, so look, this is, I wonder if I could change your name. Can I change it? Because I definitely
might have to.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I got you right now. Yeah, it ain't. It's not. right, yo. All right, so so I'm sorry. You had advice for him. What was your advice for Scotty?
I mean, man, sometimes the truth hurts, man. It do. It was like we hey man, you might not like how people perceive you, but if they put out a whole documentary like that, hey, and that stuff really happened. And I get they didn't dwell on the stuff that Michael Jordan had going on, but I mean that was a lot for Pip, man. But we're gonna read his book.
Oh man! Shout out to Marcus Golden, man. That's a teammate of mine, and he crazy. Well, yeah, but we got them boys up out of there last week. But nah, so
let me ask you about that. Let's talk about that real quick. So y'all
all right, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Sure, absolutely. Matter of fact, you want let me see if Marcus got some, because I think because he is a pastor, and I think he got a little bit to say, and I would love to hear his point of view. But go ahead, ask me a question on it, and I'm gonna try and get him up here. What was your question, Scotty?
All right, so look, so y'all won y'all first playoff game, right?
No, we won both. We won the two. We in the championship.
Okay, y'all in the championship. All right, when's the championship?
November 13th, 7 p.m. at Potomac Senior High School in Dumfries, Virginia.
I think I'm gonna have to roll through. Man. See y'all work.
By the way, I used to coach at Potomac High School. And I'm coming home, baby. I'm coming home, baby.
All right, definitely we're rooting for y'all, and we're rooting for D-Jack. If you out there listening, we're rooting for you to get your championship too, man.
Yeah, man. So
question: he's playing defense or he's playing offense?
D-Jack is playing offense. He playing offense. Right now, we're not gonna call him D-Jack. We're gonna call him Marty from Madagascar right now until he changes his hairstyle. He is Marty from Madagascar. but yeah, man. All jokes aside, I've won championships before, and there's guys on the team that haven't won, and honestly, I want to win this championship bad for them, right? The owner of the team, LeVar, he's won it as a player, but as the owner of the Titans, he hasn't. The Titans have come up short a couple times, and I just have a feeling, I have a really good feeling that this is the weekend. This is the weekend that they win a championship, that we win a championship, and we party. Well, I'm still injured, but I'm still gonna. If I gotta lift my scoot up over my head in victory, yeah. I will.
I just noticed something. You got on a Mac squad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out. You know what I mean? Yep.
The Mac squad joint.
Yeah, let's get the horns. Let's get the horns.
Outside.
But yeah, man. So yeah, man. So it's gonna be crazy. We'll be ready. We'll be ready. I guess we'll be ready, man. And I don't know what else to say, but we got to win. But yeah, man. What Hey, I hate D-Jack, yo. I mean, I hate Marty. See, he got jokes now. He got jokes. I would never. But oh man. All right, so Marcus is coming on. He gonna come on here because I want to hear what he got to say about last week's playoff game and about the possibility of winning another chip. Because he has actually the team that we beat last week was his former team. He actually used to play for that team. he got under one of the guys' skin so bad that after we won the game, in walk-off fashion, might I add, the dude didn't even care about losing the game. He just wanted to fight this guy. And again, I said Marcus is a pastor, but he's stone cold. You know what I mean? He and not in a bad way, not in a bad way. But as a football player, sometimes you got to use your mind over any of the physical traits that you have. And I mean, he did it so bad to this dude. Paul, whoa, that sounded crazy. That's he used his mind over this guy. He destroyed him mentally that the dude couldn't even focus on the game. He was so concerned about getting at this dude after this game, after the game so bad that he didn't have any catches. I mean, he was supposed to be their go-to guy. And he was just mentally screwed. And I saw it. And all I could do was laugh because I was like, dang, he got him. Because I've done that to people a number of times where you're getting 15-yard penalties, you got holding penalties now, you're not running the right routes. Just because mentally we got in your head and now you just screwed. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? And that's what Jordan did. You know, he would get into people's head. Not saying that I'm Jordan or anything, but it happens, yo. It happens. But Mark is taking too long, and I got a battle to get ready for. So shout out to the Virginia Titans, and everybody involved. Shout out to Scottie Pippen, my co-host. You know what I mean? Because without him, I couldn't carry this show. Hey yo, y'all crazy, man. But what else we got? Kyrie still not playing basketball.
Still not playing. By Ben Simmons.
So Ben Simmons is on. He he's using the his mental health is not where it is. He's not using the team doctors or the team doctors. He's actually going through some therapists and doctors through the NBPA, the Players Association. So I here he go. So since he's doing that, I ain't got too much to say because it looks like he's trying to get better. Let's get Marcus in here real quick before we get up out of here. What up, brother?
What's good, man? What's good?
Man, how you doing? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm cooling, man. I can't complain. I'm living life, but yeah, I'm doing good. It's a wonderful day. It's a good day to be a Titan.
Yeah, man. So I want to ask you because I didn't really get a chance to ask you, because you had your rant after the game, but what going into that game, knowing who you was going against, what was your thoughts?
Man, going into that game, my thoughts really was, man, we got to win. This victory for us solidifies the reason I left, or the reason that I did, and I chose the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to win. We got to win this game.
Right.
And then also, I know at the end of the day, they ready to be real petty if we don't win. So, I'm like, yo, I want to keep it going that this team that I played for, I won several championships with them. I want to keep the narrative that they have not been able to win without me, but I've been winning.
Wait, talk about petty. Oh my God.
So that's the narrative I want to continue.
Hey, I love it, man. You got to stay petty at all times.
So let's get into this. Let's get into this tough guy role that was played after the game, right?
Right.
So he wanted to fight you. Yeah, well, he wanted to fight you.
Allegedly.
Right. Or maybe he just wanted to have an aggressive conversation. Let's just, he wanted to have an aggressive conversation. But he was being held back. It didn't look like he showed a lot of resistance from my point of view. I was on my scooter.
Hey, let me ask y'all real quick. What position do you play, Marcus?
I play punt return, kick return, and I play corner, shut down corner.
Okay, so this guy was a receiver.
Yeah.
Number
88. He was shut down.
Yeah. He didn't have any catches. So were there talks during the game? Because there was a lot of times where y'all, you was on the other side of the field, so I didn't really hear. I just said, "Hey, run this," and it is what it is. But were there conversations during the game that were being had, whether it was trash talk or whatever, towards this guy to have him want to feel this way?
Well, the truth be told, normally I talk trash. When I'm on the field, I talk trash. My job is to get into your head as a receiver, offensive player. If you are weak-minded and it's easy for me to get in your head, then it is what it is. This particular day, I decided I wasn't going to talk trash at all. I just wasn't going to say nothing. I was going to be zoned in. I was going to be in tune. I wanted to know every step you made on that field. And before he even came to my side, he was on the field talking trash, talking about yo, I want you. And I just looked at him and started laughing because that don't mean nothing to me. I didn't play because I'm like this. I didn't play against some of the best receivers in semi-pro, and you are not one of them. So I'm not feared about you coming to my side. That's fine. But I wanted to stay humble, so I didn't talk trash at all. I could have took a knee like I normally do. I could have did push-ups on the field in front of him, but I'm like, yo, I'm not going to even egg him on. Somehow, I'm already in this guy's head, and I haven't said anything yet. So if I say anything now, it's just going to escalate the entire situation. So I never said anything to him the whole time. I just chuckled. That's it.
So allegedly, so by the way, Marcus is a pastor. He's a pastor. Allegedly, this is funny to me. I'm sorry. He put hands on him. They said, hey, you know how Homer used to choke Bart on The Simpsons? That's what they said. He said he choked him. That was the word. That's why he wanted to have an aggressive conversation with him. So, Marcus, pastor, did you choke that man?
Man, I did not choke this guy. Let me say this. When people realize that they've made a fool of themselves, they try to do everything possible to validate why they made a fool of themselves. Mm-hmm. Reality is, before I even checked this guy, he was talking trash to me, telling me he wanted me. I want you. If that was pre-choke, if I did choke him, that was pre-choke. What?
Not pre-game, but pre-choke.
Pre-choke. But I didn't choke him. Now, I will tell you this. He is taller than me. So when you try to muscle me on a jam, I'm already building up my strength from my hips up. I jam, boom, boom, boom. He tried to overpower me the whole time. So I'm holding him up like that. My thing is, man, show the tape, man. If I choked you, let's show the tape. And if I did choke you, why you didn't handle that then? You were already out the game anyway. You should have handled that right then. That's a lie.
I just thought it was funny. I can't look at. So when we listen, all I know is when we circled up and he praying again, I don't know how I'm gonna listen to him and be serious because all I could think of is him doing the old man choke like. That's all I could think of. So I don't know, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. But nah, man. Appreciate you, man. We'll get you on again, man, to talk some sports, right? But definitely after the championship, because we are going to win a championship.
After the championship,
absolutely.
After the championship, Pastor Marcus, you gotta come back home.
Oh, I will. I'm definitely going to be back.
Yeah, man. So shout out to you, man. We got work to do. We got we got to win this chip. So, but I'm sorry.
And look, I'll say this: anybody that knows me know I don't play dirty. I ain't gonna do nothing illegal.
Right.
I may hold you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Where the refs don't see it, but I'm not gonna go to being violent and choke a man in the game. That's just dumb. And then risk me being kicked out the game to choke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a valuable asset to my team, and I'm not gonna let a role player cause me to get kicked out the game. That doesn't make sense.
Mark, real quick, because I just want to clear the air, because I was so disgusted when I heard this. We played them a few weeks ago, and we didn't lose. Whatever, right? Before going into that game, though, they compared him to Scorpio Brown. They said that he's their Scorpio. Was it you that told me that? Oh, somebody told me that, and because I didn't know I don't know the guy. I don't know, but I know Scorpio. I was Scorpio's teammate before for a couple years. I know you were his teammate. So when they told me that, I was offended. And I said, what? So I was like, well, maybe they're saying that he's playing a role of Scorpio, so they'll put him in different positions on offense. But nah, that wasn't it. Like Scorpio's damn near a legend. I think most people in our ranks would say that he's that guy, right? He's made some plays. Yeah. And that dude, I mean, I think he scored the first game, but he was like wide open. It was like a busted cover. Something like it wasn't even. I was not impressed when and I'll forever give people their props when it's due. But I was like, this dude's just a guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just a guy. He didn't jump off the camera. I was like, oh, all right. But that was it. I just,
Well, here's my deal with that. Young man that I was checking. First of all, they scored the first time on I was running on the field.
Right.
And the play was already in motion. When I was running to the spot to the right side of the field. I tried to square up and backpedal to where I could have been or what I needed to be, and I slipped and fell. And old boy scored. I didn't see anything impressive in him that made me believe he is a rising star. He's a good role player, but there's no rising star in him. And I say that because if there's any game, if there's any receiver on that squad who I will respect their play and their catching ability, I'm going to give it to Justin Banks. He may not be the fastest, but Justin Banks is the type of guy he gonna get into the open spots and he gonna catch the ball when it's thrown to him. This guy scored off of broken coverage, blown assignments, and things of that nature. Miscommunication. That's what I say. Miscommunication. Once we got to the end of closer like to the second half of the game, probably like the fourth quarter, we switched up and I started jamming him on the line. He started stepping back off the line so he wouldn't get jammed. That's when I realized, oh, this guy, he don't want to be touched. So I'm gonna keep putting my hands on him because he's only effective by running off the line with nobody touching. And when I did that, I noticed no catches. So in my head, coming into this game this past Saturday, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna jam every receiver they put in front of me. Because ain't none of them getting off the jam. Ain't none of them going to eat. They're not escaping the island. And fortunately, it worked. The D-line bottled up the quarterback.
Sounds like he choked him.
But that's why he was mad. Ain't nobody applied that pressure to him. Mine made him frustrated. I mean, that makes sense now.
Absolutely. All right, bro.
Straight jacket the boys.
We gonna talk, man. I gotta get out of here, man. But you know, y'all ain't gonna have me up here all night. I'm tired.
My bad. Two live Titans.
No.
Two live Titans.
All right, man. You take it easy.
All right, man.
All
right, Scott. We gotta get up out of here. Yeah, man. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Where's Scotty B?
No. Scotty P. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try and change it.
Hey, man, that's funny.
We out of here. All right, man.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.